You're listening to I'm So Vain with Josh Carmichael, only on LA Talk Radio.
Hey, there we are. I'm So Vain with Josh Carmichael. How are you? Welcome. We have a pretty cool and exciting show today. Let me see if I could talk. Had a little bit of a sinus infection, so excuse me if I'm not coming out correct today, if I'm not enunciating as well as I normally do. That could be the hickabilly in me too, because you know that happens. Anyway, welcome to I'm So Vain. We are live here at LA Talk Radio, Los Angeles, and Sherman Oaks. And we're live on Facebook right now, so if you guys want to tune in, please respond, please ask questions, get involved. The more you get involved, the more we have fun, right? So, yeah, here we are. Let me have a little dry throat here. So got to keep hydrated today. I have a pretty cool announcement today that I want to share with you all. I've been working on something I had the idea about 5 years ago, and something that's been a part of my life for most of my life, for probably the last 30 years. I've been studying and watching people and studying emotions and how people relate to one another and, how we communicate. And I'm going to use this platform and use this moment to tell you, hey, for all the gentlemen out there, for all the men out there, this is really about you guys as well, because learning to get in touch with your feelings, get in touch with your emotions, and learning how to express that and how to communicate better. That's what my book is about, which I'm about to introduce. That's what my course book is about, and I also coach and help people do this. So you're going to find that you're going to find this very useful. The way I say it, the way I look at it, this book will change your life. So let me introduce it to you. It's right here. It's called The Process Code: Unlocking Your Past to Live Your Future. You can get it on Amazon.com, The Process Code. Go ahead and get a copy today. Check it out if you want to. You want more information about it. It'll be on my website. It'll be on. It's on our Facebook page. I'll link it to the I'm So Vain video today. So YouTube.com/C/I'm So Vain. It'll be on there as well. So if you see this video, you click on the links below. It'll have a direct link to the Amazon site. So Amazon.com, and then just enter the process code. I'm not sure what the full URL is, but that's what I have so far. Excuse me. But it really is a book that changes people's lives. And the reason it does is that it asks you the questions to get you more in touch with your feelings, so that you can learn to express yourself and share with one another and attract more positive energy in your life. So whether it's money, family, life, relationships, love, the three things that we all kind of strive for, other than we need to eat every once in a while and sleep. But, love and money are right there at the top too. So check it out, The Process Code. Once again, I think you got it, The Process Code. Did you get it yet? Unlocking Your Past to Live Your Future, Amazon.com. Go get it now. It will change your life. I guarantee it. If not, send it back to me. I'll give you your money back. All right, here we go. We have a cool guest today. She's a motivator and an inspirational wonder. She coaches and teaches and helps people in physical fitness and motivation. She speaks a lot. She's you're going to hear some great stories. She has a thing called the Kelly Mack Method. Everyone, I want to introduce you to Kelly Mack. Come on in. Kelly Mack.
Thank you.
The Mack Attack, as I say. So if you sit back, just know you have to raise your voice a little bit. You don't have to talk up here in the mic, but you can talk to me. You can share the camera. Welcome. How are you?
A little bit nervous.
Well, that's a good thing. Nervous is a good energy.
Yeah, I'm alive, guys.
Yeah. What are you nervous about?
Honestly, I've never done this before.
Yeah.
So I just want to give the thanks to both Josh and Nancy and you guys for tuning in. So bear with me. I'm as authentic as they get. So keep the questions
Well,
coming.
let's just go into it. We'll get you out of that embarrassment or that nervousness, and so here we go. Kelly, you've been coaching and teaching people for a long time. How long?
Ooh, this is going to date me, you guys. I've done this before children and after children, so it's been a good couple decades.
That's good. That's good. And how did you get started in the physical fitness? I mean, were you always athletic as a kid? And
well, that's a really good question, you guys. I call it the Kelly Mack method. It's really the Kelly Mack religion, or get on the Mack train. I started back in '78, coming from Vietnam, culture shock, trying to emerge from the Eastern, Western culture was a challenge. And my upbringing was not ideal, but I was very, very blessed to have had, the paternal grandparents who raised me and my sister. So the first time I met my parents was 1975, and I try not to get emotional, but it was really difficult.
Right.
And
that's okay. That's what this is about. It's real. Let it go. It's okay.
So I found,
because I know you came from,
Yeah.
you came from you could talk about that a little bit. Let them in on how your parents, how you came to be and how you got here and what they did to survive.
well, I don't know if you all know, I am the first wave of the boat people from the fall of Saigon. I came to America at 11 years old, not a word of English, and that's when I met my mom and dad and the rest of my siblings. They have they had 4 children. I'm the oldest, and it was very difficult. Not only merging into the Western culture, and also okay, you're my parents, and in our culture it's like, okay, well, now you've got your parents, so you go with your parents, and you really are seen but not heard. So that's kind of like my upbringing. So I was just forced to go into my parents' lives with the rest of the siblings, and it got me into at 11 to 14 years old was so difficult, Josh. I'm trying to learn English, trying to find my ways, and trying to stay.
And where were you at this point? Where did you come to? California?
No. We all arrived in Princeton, New Jersey, where my uncle graduated from Princeton University.
Oh, wow.
And my aunt, and so they sponsored us, and so our first city was New York City. The tower.
Started small.
Yeah, yeah. I just remember the ride from the airport with a pair of flip-flops.
There's no culture shock there, is there?
All 12 of us are in this Trans Am stuck to the, and there's no rules to, seat belts, and all of us in one car.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so in '78, we arrived here in California, basically have been in California most of my life. And so back to the question as to how I became, the professional that I am instead of doing nails, right? We all know that Vietnamese people do nails, right? I do nails, not now. And I just choose to do what I do because I believe in beauty from within, and it's longevity to me, and it's a healthy option. So I came across, physical fitness at 14 years old. I picked up Joseph Pilates' book back in the '78 and the Jane Fonda era. And then, it was such a challenge to me.
You still wear those spandex from Jane
Fonda
days?
Those,
remember those things?
Yeah.
I think she created spandex or whatever, right?
Yeah. It's just been my way of life.
Right.
And then I went right into college. I always wanted to be a teacher. I actually went to school to become an elementary teacher. And I did a couple years in it, and decided to go into physical fitness, and been doing it for a while, and it's been a very good path for me because
Right.
I've been able to inspire and motivate people to be their best.
Well, I don't know about you, but I go to the gym. I've been working out since.
Yeah, you look
Since-
like you've been doing.
I've been in the gym a few days. Since what year was that? 86, 85 or 86. So I've been. I discovered the gym in the military, and it really I felt that it saved my life, physical fitness, and I was a trainer and certified and all that. Out here, that was my first job when I came to LA, to act and modeling and stuff. So I did a little bit of that, but I realized that it's therapy for me. Do you feel the same thing?
It was and it still is.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I call it the Kelly Mac
Like if
Church.
you're in the Killer Mac Church.
Yeah.
So like if you're frustrated or you have a bad day and you take it to the gym, it helps, right?
Right. So
Yeah.
you definitely know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
like, it's not just a physical thing. And those of you who are not moving or planning to move or you are moving, then you get what we're saying. Because not
Right.
only do you get the benefits of the physique, but you come out in 30 minutes, in an hour, you're like, oh, just bring it to me. I can do this.
You have more energy, yeah.
Yeah.
No, and I think it builds your self-esteem. We talked about this a little beforehand. And that's the key. I think, people, we all have our insecurities, right? You have yours, I have mine. We're human. So therefore, based on, and it's funny, that's what my book deals with a lot. We go back and the book asks you questions to reprogram. Like, so to go back to your life, you reprogram those memories, those thoughts with a positive action and a positive moment,
Right.
to where you take away the fears that you encountered as a child, which some of them may still affect you, right? Which obviously they do. So it takes you back into that, and we start to reprogram our past and reprogram for our future, for the now. And the cool part about that is that you can let a lot of that shit go. And now you can just, live for yourself, be for yourself. And I don't mean in a selfish way, but the better, more comfortable we are with ourselves, the better we can be for other people.
I
Correct?
couldn't agree. with
So
that.
building that self-esteem and walking into the world with confidence, you walk in very confident, so that's a good thing. So you've worked on it. You've
Yes.
worked on it.
Yes.
Let me ask you another question. So based on your past and your history, does that help you? I guess the better question is, does that help you, knowing your past history, knowing the struggles and stuff that you have, does that help you motivate others?
Absolutely,
'Cause-
I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Because, when you have risen from the storms, of life, that you have something to share.
Right.
We all have something to bring to the table, different
Right.
stories, but if we can just share those positive and lift one another, it's a great lesson,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
So I do agree with you, Josh.
Oh, that's your phone. Can you put that
Oh, yeah.
down? Just
Yeah,
put it on the
yeah,
ground.
that's, yeah.
We got a vibrating phone over here.
Yeah.
If you guys hear it, that's all right.
Sorry, guys.
Somebody had to turn their phone off, Kelly.
I thought I did.
Gosh.
Oh,
You didn't read the sign. You didn't read this big sign outside.
That's why made in China, you guys, right?
That's all right. Getting back to the subject. So the fitness thing is really your life. It's just part of who you are.
It is part of who I am, and I do speak very authentically, you guys, and those who have messaged me, those I've encounter knows that I am who I am. You see, what you get, and I do live what I share with you all, and it's just been my way of life, and I hope that you spending this hour with Josh and Nancy and I, that you can feel that energy, and the only way to be is yourself. And I believe that, if you are not, taking care of yourself, you're really not good for anybody.
Right.
Even, especially yourself. If you're not going to take care of yourself, who's going to take care of you?
Right.
And we all have our storms that we have to go through. So I think we all are wired with those certain qualities, and some of us, have more of it, and some of us don't need that much, and that's
Right.
okay. And and that's what I tell my clients.
Well, people, I talk about this all the time too. Excuses. How many excuses do you get? and how many people cancel on you or whatever. You're like, well, I can't. I feel like look. I have a little sinus infection I had for a couple of days, and I still show up. Like even I'd have to be on my deathbed to quit. That's just me though. But I talk to people and I coach people on excuses. Like, you still making excuses for your life? Well, wouldn't you like to change that?
Right.
But people don't want to change until they see that they have a problem. It's kind of like smokers or alcoholics or whatever. If you don't feel like you have an addiction or an issue, you're not going to change it. You think it's okay because it's been normal. So we have to, people like you and I, we have to like light that fire, and go, hey, you know what? Enough of the excuses. I'm going to call you out. I'm going to coach you. I'm going to be there for you. Mm-hmm. I'm going to take you in, and we're going to stop this. We're going to stop the excuses. We're going to stop the avoidance, the procrastination, and we're going to get you on a program or get you in a place where you're going to be motivated enough to do this on your own.
Right.
That's the goal eventually, right?
Right.
So they can go off and be stronger for themselves. Are you like a ball buster? Are you pretty tough on people when you're coaching them?
My personality as such is that because of my life experiences, and the upbringing was really tough. I just don't gravitate towards like the real like sergeant kind of style.
Right.
And I think that my clients and my followers are liking my energy because I'm a little gentler. I see myself as being your cheerleader, and when you decide to follow me or you decide to, allow me to train you, I want to set everyone up that's, I'm affiliated with, to be their best, to,
right.
Set them up for success.
Right.
And so in that way, I'm not as harsh. And so I believe that my role and that, the ones that choose to do business with me are very, they're ready. Look, I'm privileged to have this hour with you. Let's set you up. Let's reprogram you. Let's get you to where you want to be and to be your best,
Right.
And I think that, different strokes for different folks,
Yeah.
But no, Kelly, it's a little more gentler.
She
But I get the job done. I get the job done.
You have that more maternal. That's
I
good though. A
do.
lot of people need that. It's kind of like what I call like babysitting.
Mm-hmm.
They need that comfort. There are different types of people. I've always been against trainers myself because I'm motivate myself. But I've trained people where I've had both types. Like some you need to kick in the butt. Well, I have a 17-year-old son that I train with him now, and he's a little hard. I have to be a little harsh on him. Like, let's go,
Right.
But
Right.
there are some people who are like, hey, I'll see you there, and then it's smooth going. But now, do you so you train men and women?
I do.
Across the board?
Yeah, my youngest is 14, and my oldest is in her like 70s.
No, wow.
And so not only am I, an inspirer or a motivator, but they motivate me.
Oh, of
They bring
course.
something to the table. That day, we're like counselors, and
Yeah.
and I believe that, being a trainer, we have to lead by example and to really listen. And I also feel the energy,
Right.
And I'm at a point where I can walk into the room and I can see someone, that's about to sign up, talk to them for a few minutes, and I can kind of tell what kind of routine I need to come up with.
You just kind of read their
Yeah.
body language or how they're going.
Yeah. So and I'll scope you out and I'll say, okay, what are your excuses? What are your plans? What are your goals? Why are you doing this? And why have you chosen me? I mean, I'm really privileged, but be ready because I'm going to educate you and I want you to walk away. And I'm so grateful that 9 out of 10 would say, Kelly, I didn't even know I had those body parts or the muscles. So I believe that I'm an educator, and once you get them to understand, the functions of your body parts, and part of the success is, refueling yourself, and resting and all of that. So, I think the personality and taking the time and explaining, what they're doing, why they're doing it, are they feeling it? And one of the requirements I have for my clients or for my students is like, you need to talk to me. It's okay to talk to me because that's the only way you're going to get your money's worth. I don't want you to just go in and this is what Kelly, wants me to do. And I'm not just another trainer. I really want, my clients to feel like they're incredible, they're amazing. We all are. And they're special.
Sounds like you got it all going on.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's easy for me to talk about what I love.
That's what you're passionate about. You know,
yeah.
you know how hard it is to get people to find their passion in life, which is like always one of my first questions. And I question people. My kids are probably tired of me asking them, "What's your passion? What's your passion? What wakes you up in the morning? What?" I don't mean the alarm clock or the sun. I mean, what motivates you to get out of bed in the morning? And for all of you out there listening and watching or tuning into this, that's really what this is about. It's about, you know, getting to a place where you motivate yourself, you find yourself, because we all have some truly unique qualities and special qualities, or a unique talent or gift that we've been stuffing somewhere I'm saying if you're not doing it. So find that. What is that? You know, I can only refer to myself, like you can to yourself. I was an artist as a kid, so I always knew in my head from the time I was 8 years old, I was going to do something creative. I didn't know what it was. I mean, I thought it was going to be painting or drawing or whatever, so I was doing that and selling my stuff at a young age. But it wasn't until I discovered entertainment and acting that I knew, oh, that's my bliss, man. That's my, that's my passion. That's what wakes me up in the morning. So to create, just basically being a creative. So, for people out there that don't know it or don't have it yet, but you may know it or you may have it inside of you, it's time to let it go. It's time to take that risk and do it. So I have a question for you.
Sure.
What's your greatest achievement?
That's easy. And I think we're all parents, right? To all my parents out there, no matter what storms, how hard they hit us, I think at the end of the day, I'm going to cry about this again. It's my daughter.
Yeah.
I love you, Michelle. I do what I do because that's my calling. That's my mission. But I want to give something to society. And I know that in addition to being a mother, I want to contribute to society, and this is my passion. And back to what Josh was saying, being an artist, I think that, the motivation should come from within. And as parents, we should help them find that. It's a challenge,
right.
They go through those stages. But I know you guys can relate to this, right? I mean, like, the best job is to wake up to do what you love. And I get to wake up to do what I love. And I hope that, if you're listening and you're trying to find your passion, search it. Dare to reach what you've been searching for, and especially if you've got the time, do it. And I'm so, I need to pinch this person because this person is pretty accomplished, and he has me sitting here. I was just telling Josh earlier, it's like, I'm just Michelle's mom. I'm an immigrant from the fall of Saigon, and I'm a survivor. But to have this first experience with someone that I've admired is very humbling. And I think it's a confirmation as to what I just said a second ago. Dare to reach for your dreams. Never give up hope. And whatever lessons, whatever dreams that you have, never let it go. Just get up and keep reaching for them.
Well, thank you for that. That's it's wonderful. I'm honored. I'm humbled. But I want to remind you of something. I'm human just like you. I'm a farm kid from Kansas who sought my dream out, and right. We all have our challenges and trials and tribulations in life. And I look at it this way. It's like I mean, thank you for saying that. I don't feel like I've accomplished that much yet because there's so much more to do. I go, okay, well, I want to do this now, and I want to do this now, and I want to do this now. And I think that's the challenge, or at least the goals for me in my life, is to always come up with more challenges. And it not only keeps me motivated, but it keeps me healthy, it keeps me excited about life, and it keeps me moving forward. Because, you can get to a certain level, and look, I've been comfortable in my life many times, and where you get to that comfort level and you go, oh, I could just sit back and chill for a little while and just take it all in. But I can't do that because I know that there's something else. There's somebody, now it's about, like, as we get older, it's about giving back. Now it's about, I told you it's the reason I created this show. It's about having this. It's a one-on-one communication, that camaraderie, that emotional connection to where you can share that with people, and we don't get that a lot in today's society. And so I find that the show and this part is really reconnecting with old friends, new friends, and people of like minds, so to speak, so that we can share our journeys with everyone else. So hopefully that affects people, and hopefully we're doing the right thing.
I couldn't agree with Josh. I mean, like, with all the social media options and everything, and going back to the basic, to the human connection, and I mean, at the end of the day, we all want to be on knowledge, and I think we all want to be heard, right? Seen, maybe, yeah. Mm-hmm. But, to have this option to talk about, the commonalities, and how we can, be on this journey of life, school of life together, especially with the society being so warped these days, right? I mean, back in the 70s when I was so privileged to come to America, to have that snippet of the good old days. I mean, it's so different for me, and I wasn't even born here. Just imagine, for people who were born here to see the difference in here it was here, and now the bar is down to here,
Yeah. It changes. You look at the decades, and you've been here a few decades, so you can see the changes, and they repeat. Some patterns repeat themselves, and you go, "Wait, do we really have to repeat that one?" There are some things that repeat themselves. They say every 10 years or every 20 years we rechange. But I think I do believe that, and especially people that are getting older or closer in our age group, that and the younger millennials and stuff that are coming up. There's a new age. There's a new movement going on, that we're not settling for mediocre anymore. We expect more out of people. We want more out of people. We want at least what I'm seeing, and maybe you correct me if this is not what you're seeing, but I'm seeing that more people want to be more emotional. They do want to share more. They do want to express more, because it's like, I mean, look at the Me Too movement or something like that. They're expressing themselves of like, we're not going to take this shit anymore. Mm-hmm. And so that's kind of what I'm saying. It's like, even if it's a standing up, or it's a million-man march or whatever it is, at least we're starting to stand up for our rights and for who we are as people. And I think you coming from another country and seeing, I don't know if you see this, but Americans have fallen prey to we become victims in our own country, so we don't think we have a voice because that's been stuffed. Again, I talk about that in the book, and I talk about we have to unprogram those old patterns and old past from whatever the media or whatever that has affected us, and really find our truth and stand up for who we are. Once we do that, we control the power again. We have the power to do whatever we want. And that's the cool part about being in America and being alive. And, I served my country. I've seen a lot of different things. I've been all over the world. And this still is the greatest country on the planet, in my opinion, because there's freedom to do whatever you want. So why don't we do that, right?
Yeah.
You're doing it.
Again.
Sorry, I went off on a little tangent.
It's okay, right? We love hearing from Josh. He's a great speaker. First of all, I would like to say thank you so much for serving. I'm very humble. Yesterday was Veterans Day.
Yay.
And, so thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And I couldn't agree.
I still got the salute.
All right. I couldn't agree with Josh more. It is a beautiful country. I mean, like, I came from Vietnam, and like I said, part of my upbringing is I'm seen, but I'm not heard. So to have that.
What was that?
I'm seen, but
no,
I'm
not
kidding. Heard.
I didn't hear you. I'm joking.
All right. But to be heard.
Trying to throw a little humor in there, Kelly. Go with it. Gosh.
It is a beautiful country. It is a privilege to be an American, and I agree with the new generation. They do want to be heard, and I'm very proud of that option, that in their exercising their right to be heard. We turn on the news and we see all the negatives. I think it's just to me it's just what do you say that? It's like a disease. It's like a disease.
It is a disease. I break that up like dis-ease, because it really makes you uncomfortable. I reference my book because I talk about it. I'm like, turn off the news.
Right.
Change your day. Change your routine.
Right.
Just give yourself 3 days, 7 days, whatever it is, 24 hours. Give yourself a break from that whatever norm, that pattern that you've created, and you're going to see things completely differently.
Right.
It's like there's a saying, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And I love that. It's so simple, but it's so complex because you think about it. So.
That's right. And I agree, because it starts in the mind, right? So until you decide to reprogram your thinking, you're going to continue that path until you're tired of it. And you're like, okay, this is not working because I'm going in circles, so I need help, or I decide to change. It starts in the mind. And I believe that, Josh can relate to this, because you go into the gym feeling like, oh my goodness, it's the end of the day. And I'm like, I'd rather sit on the couch. No. Once you get in the gym and you decide to move and oxygenate that brain, that's also a muscle, then you're like, okay, this is a
And you're grateful you did it, even if you don't get a lot done, even if you're, say, on the elliptical machine or a bike for 10 minutes or 20 minutes, at least you got moving,
Yeah.
By the way, you can dial in at 1-800-TALK Josh and Kelly. We'll be here to, cover all your therapy questions. Right? No, I'm kidding. But it kind of felt like that, which is good. I think that's who we are as coaches and as people. You said earlier that you're kind of the counselor for people, and I always found that I reference my book, but I talk about this in life. I've been blessed, and I believe you're one of these people too. I've been blessed in my life, and I really see it as a blessing that no matter where I go or who I encounter, usually strangers, I'll say strangers that people I've never met, will open up to me and tell me their life story. And I think one reason is because, one, I truly love stories, and I've loved them since I was 4 years old. I remember my mother would take me she used to volunteer for old folks' homes, or, she was a caretaker. And so I would be around these elderly people that were in their 70s and 80s, and I was 4 years old, and they would tell me stories of the war, or the flood, or the whatever their life was, and I would sit there and listen for hours and days and weeks and whatever, and I realized that I'm a storyteller, and so I love to hear your stories, and so therefore I think there's a comfort in that people trust me to tell me their literally. I've had celebrities like tell me things that you'll never hear in the news. I'll never talk about like that, but just it's amazing. So I think that's who, as a gifted person to want to give back, I'm blessed, and I think you have that too.
Well, thank you, Josh. I do agree with you. They do open up to you once you get to know them, and it's a privilege to hear more to them and where they were and where they're going. And as coaches, it helps us to help them get to their best. And I think that, doing what we do, not only are we like the leader, but we also have to have good sets of ears, to listen to.
And you I saw you got emotional and stuff. You have a vulnerability about you too that I think, and I do too, is being a physically a bigger man or whatever, a strong, whatever people say. I hate to say that, but people see me as like this masculine guy. Yeah. But I'm very vulnerable. I'm very in touch with my emotions too. So I look at that and I go, maybe that's a part of it, that I diffuse that sense of masculinity even with men. Like, I have buddies all the time. We'll sit down and they're like, I never had a conversation like this before. And I go, I have them all the time. I'm thinking it's normal for me to like share like how are you feeling? What are you feeling? I love that. And I think that in a sense, in itself is the core of moving forward, or becoming a better person, or being motivated. Because when you start to feel more, as you know, it's like going to the gym. Oh shit, that hurts. You're feeling something, right. And I always use like that's a tangible. If you get that feeling, that's a tangible. But start to feel inside and live that from the inside out. That's just amazing stuff. What do you got?
Right
what do you got? What do you got for me?
Yeah.
You add to that.
Do you not agree?
Bring it.
I mean, dial in, because I agree with Josh again. I think that part of being human is to acknowledge, and I've allowed myself.
Yeah.
I refer back to myself because that's how I learn. I mean, like, we're not superhuman. We all know that, and part of it is our upbringing, our culture. But Josh really has a good point about acknowledging your feelings, because people have they have an opinion when they see you. They register, their opinion when they first meet you. And I'm sure, like when I first saw Josh a few minutes ago, I'm like, okay, this man is really fit and he looks like a man. But to hear you talk and to feel your energy, it's so real. It makes Josh a whole person. I mean, I get misunderstood.
Maybe a half a person, but okay.
Yeah, but I think Nancy, his better half, will have to agree with me. He's a whole person. I mean, if you are so privileged to meet them, you would agree that the energy is just amazing, very, very real. But I understand where you're going with this, because people always misunderstood. When they look at me, they're like, okay, all right, a little bit, and I'm like, no, talk to me. I'm really real,
Right.
and I'm really nice, and
Well, you're a beautiful woman. You come off, and that's why I said you walk in with confidence, and it intimidates people,
Yeah.
regardless of how you feel. And I get it all the time, and I'm like, I just want to be I'm a good guy. I'm a nice guy. I'm friendly,
Yeah.
like you are, and yeah, it's interesting how people, they judge you right away. But so tell me some, like what are you doing with your training, and where are you going with that? What do you want to do with it? You have goals set for that right now?
Yeah.
I know you do.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause your goal,
Yeah, that's
your
a good
goal,
question.
yeah.
All right. So we all know I'm a single mom. I raised a beautiful, intelligent girl. She's 20. She's going to be 24 in a few months, 2 months. And so now it's time for Mama K. As Josh was saying a few minutes ago, there's something in you. There's that voice that you just can't ignore. And I don't have excuses. I don't accept excuses. Okay, especially when that voice keeps turning in my ears. I'm like, no, there's something else I need to do. And things are opening up, doors. I mean, I've been labeled that I'm pretty fearless and I'm pretty ambitious. I was like, okay, what did you have to fear? I mean, like, why wouldn't I try? I'm a participant in life, and that's part of what I share with my clients. You got to get into life and what it is that you're wanting for yourself. Be fearless, especially if you've got time. So the question is, where am I going with this? Where am I going? Well, there's going to be a big show in January, and I was cast out of thousands of people that I was so blessed to participate, and it will air in January of 2020 during the Super Bowl on a national network. Pretty humble about that.
That's great. Wow. Can you talk about it more?
I can talk about it a little bit. It's a national television show. But there, I do believe that I'm going to recruit audiences that's like Team Kelly, because, I might be small in stature, but I don't stay down very long. You're like, go Kelly,
It's
go
time
Kelly.
to rise. It's time to rise.
It's time to rise. That's right. I've come this far. I would love, and I've been asked, to write a book about my life.
Yeah.
And so I'm open to that. So
I was going to mention that, by the way. You got a lot to share.
I would love to learn from you and Nancy how I can do that, so we can share our books together. And this is the first time I've actually done this. And so if you see some flaws, you just got to just say, oh, yeah, she's real. I've always been, I'm real. So I'm open to opportunities, and it seems to me like, there's a negative feeling when I say this, and people can relate to Hollywood, right?
Right.
And in some ways, I'm like so ready for that, and other ways, I'm like, but I'm just Michelle's mom, and I'm just an immigrant, and I say that with being grounded and very, very excited for the opportunity. So they've been given to me, and anybody that knows me knows that if you give it to her, just expect 110%. And so even though you might see some flaws today, but you know that Mama K is giving 110%, and that is being authentic and laying it out there. And
Right.
Josh is right. I'm very, very, what do you want to know? What do you want to know? We'll talk about that. And
Well, you're an expert in your field as well, and I was going to say a book or you have, even if you do a training program and you write it down, I don't know if you have, but even though that makes you more of an expert. So when you have a book, you can say, hey, this is my claim of I know what the heck I'm talking about. So it makes you more relevant and more, I guess, effective in that sense. If you have so I would definitely recommend a fitness book for sure.
Okay.
But then you can do a biography or whatever as well, and maybe combine the two. But then have your fitness program, like you talked about the programs, and you see people and you immediately know what they need. Well, let's get those out. You got to do that. I can help you if you want.
I would love that.
And get those out to where not only it'll create another source of income, but it'll also be able to carry your name out, brand yourself a little better, and all of that. So I highly encourage that. It'll boost your sales and your like I say, your brand, and get you out there. So your Instagram is the Kelly Mack Method?
It is the Kelly Mack Method.
Or Kelly Mack Method, yeah, not the.
Right.
Yeah, Kelly Mack Method. Facebook, same thing.
Same thing.
All right.
And my website, kellymackmethod.com.
Right. And where did that come from, the Kelly Mack Method?
Okay, that's a good question. Okay, you guys ready? Because everybody's like, okay, you're Asian, and Kelly is Irish, and then Mac is not Asian. And so let me explain. That's a really good question.
That could be Irish or
really
Scottish, yeah.
Really cute. Okay, so this is going to date me some more, and that is, well, my ethnic name is NGOC, so don't try, because I am not knock, and kids can be cruel. Back in the 70s, especially in Princeton, we were stuck out like sore thumbs because we're the only Asians in Princeton.
Wow.
And so the kids were real cruel. So in the 70s, if you're old enough to remember Charlie's Angels.
Yeah.
Okay, there was a beautiful Farrah, right?
Right.
And then there was Sabrina, right? Kate Jackson, and there's Jacqueline Smith as Kelly. Well, I just happened to hung out with a beautiful blonde little girl, and a beautiful dark short hair girl, and then I have the long dark hair. So we're pretending while we're playing during recess, and again, I didn't speak a lot of English. It was just a lot of motion, and they're like, I'm Farrah, she's Sabrina, you Kelly. And so that's how I got Kelly. Because then they, back in the day, they sports cards or something like that, right? Yeah. With the gum and everything. Yep. And so they would bring it in, and they're like,
cards,
yeah, and so this is you. I'm like, wow, she's beautiful. So that's how I got Kelly. Last name is actually Chinese. So my mother is Vietnamese. My father's father is from Canton, China, but his mother is half Vietnamese and half Chinese. So father is really 3/4 Chinese and 1/4 Vietnamese. But then he married my mother, who's all Vietnamese. So that makes me half and half. So there you go, Kelly Mack. That's it.
That's wild.
Don't try NGOC. That's not nice.
That's a good one. So you changed it. It's all like everything's. Yeah, it's all changed. It's all good.
Yeah, it's all good.
You've had it for a while. That's awesome.
When sometimes when some documents you'll see it, right? Even though it says Kelly. Yeah. And they're like, no, and don't call me Kim. That's my middle name. And they're like, oh, we'll go Kim. No. Because in our country, we all have a middle name, and when you're from the same family, we all have the same middle name. Oh, wow. So you can't call me Kim because my sister is Kim.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that's part of the family,
Wow.
trait, so.
So you speak English, and what are the languages then?
I speak Vietnamese, and I speak Chinese, and I speak English. So, yeah.
English?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah, just a little English. Yeah. Yeah, I remember back in the 70s, didn't know a word of English. And I would come home, like I said earlier, trying to merge the two cultures.
Was English really hard to learn?
Oh, yeah. It actually wasn't.
No?
But looking back, I remember coming home, and I was just so excited learning, a couple words every day. And, my grandparents and my aunts and uncles, they're like, no English. We speak Chinese and Vietnamese. And now 40-something years later, thank you so much for being so mean. Because now I can still speak Vietnamese and Chinese.
Good. Wow.
Yeah.
Do you want to say anything in Vietnamese or Chinese to your followers?
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
I could.
Yeah, go.
Okay. All right. So as you know, that I was part of the Orange County pageant a couple weeks ago, and so I just want to speak in Vietnamese real quickly, and that is cảm ơn quý vị cho chương trình của Josh với Nancy Anderson bữa nay. Kelly có thể nói chuyện với quý vị. Kelly ở bên Mỹ lâu lắm mà tiếng Việt không có rành, mà hôm nay Kelly sẽ nói tiếng Việt với quý vị. So cảm ơn quý vị very much. So there you go.
Nice. I didn't understand that.
They didn't know I was talking bad about them, right?
Yeah. Well, we'll find out later, won't we? Won't we?
Yeah.
Very cool. We have about 5 minutes left. Wrap it up.
All right, let's
do
wrap it up. So you guys know, right? I've been posting on Instagram about these two amazing people that created this opportunity for me to be here and for everyone else to tune in. I want to give thanks to Nancy Anderson and Josh Carmichael, LA Talk Radio, to provide this. And also you guys for tuning in, and I hope that you learned something about me and that you're feeling the vibes between these amazing people here in the room, and that you continue to tune in. And it's free. Press that button, and send your your questions in, and hopefully they like me enough that we can come back and just open up more discussions and how we all can connect and help each other. And remember, Josh has his book, so go to Amazon, right, Josh?
Yeah. The process code, Unlocking Your Past to Live Your Future. The process code on Amazon. It's going to be on my website shortly as well. But I will say one thing that I learned about you today, that you're emotionally connected, which is really wonderful. Your vulnerability is very sweet. You're humbling and you're positive. And if I were looking for a trainer, I would definitely hire you. And I like your energy, and I think Nancy would probably want to work with you as well. But really, really good stuff. I thank you for showing up and being here and posting and helping us promote this, because it is, still kind of a baby. We're getting it out there. And again, we created this show to help other people and to bring people like you in of like minds, and just share our stories and share our history. We have a little bit of history to share, and maybe knowledge or wisdom at some point. But excuse me, losing my voice a little bit. But it's been wonderful. You kind of brought this I guess more humbling approach to this today, which is, and maybe it's my energy as well, but it's been nice. It's been calm and cool, and I love that you get emotional about your history and your past, and that's the beauty of being alive. It is to not forget that, and to not shut that down, and not apologize for it, because that's who you are. Jack Canfield, writer of Chicken Soup for the Soul, he quoted saying, our past is the so what of our life, but it makes up so much of who we are today. And I love that, because it is who you are, and it made you a survivor. It made you stronger. So take those as blessings. Take those as, being grateful for the struggles and the challenges you've had, because now you bring that beautiful energy to everyone else.
Well, thank you so much, Josh, for feeling the energy. And I think that's the only way to go, and you accept yourself for being human. We're not superhuman. I never try to be superhuman. I just finally, at 50-something years old, I was like, okay, I got to accept me for who I am, and hopefully people will just accept me as authentic as I can be,
No, you are, and I think it shows in your posts, and all I'll say is, just be you, just keep being you, and keep that positive energy alive, and be more, be as confident every day with who you are, and lead with that. And people will follow. They'll come. They'll know you more. And hopefully this show has helped. Hopefully this has given you more exposure, so that you could pursue those dreams and pursue and get more followers and get more, more popular, whatever you want to do with it. But hopefully it helps because people got to see a little bit more of you, who you are, and thank you for being on I'm So Vain today. It's really cool.
Well, thank
Really
you,
cool.
you guys, for tuning in, and thank you, Josh.
You're very
and
welcome.
Nancy, for having me, and I hope you guys continue to just message them what you want them to talk about or, feature every week. And
Yeah,
the
please
questions.
respond, comment. Once again, here's the book, The Process Code, Unlocking Your Past to Live Your Future, Amazon.com. You can check us out on YouTube.com/C/I'm So Vain. Follow us, like us, subscribe, hit that bell so you get, when we're posting a new video. Every week, same time, same place. We'll see you next week. Appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Namaste.
You're listening to I'm So Vain with Josh Carmichael, only on LA Talk Radio.